Hello, and welcome to Building Native Communities Financial Skills for Families. My name is Troy Spencer, and I'm the office manager for OSNI Ponca and Petco. I will be going over the first session with you. Session 1, Developing a Spending Plan. The objectives of this first session is to determine your money culture, develop savings goals, develop a spending plan, and develop a financial record keeping system. Our values are the set of beliefs that make up who we are. It's difficult to manage money well unless you know your values surrounding money. Here's a clear, practical way to connect personal values to financial decision making. Why values matter in money making decisions. Money is a tool. Values determine how we use the tool. When people don't connect money to values, decisions are often driven by pressure, emotions, comparison, short-term wants. When money aligns with value, decisions feel intentional, confident, and sustainable. One of the most difficult parts of learning to save your money is learning to distinguish between wants and needs. How do you decide what is a want and what is a need? Usually a need is something you need to have to survive, like food, a home, and medical care. A want is something you would like to have, but is not necessary to survive. This includes things like brand new furniture, the most up to date smartphone, or the latest basketball shoes. Nice to have, but you would probably be fine without them. A good way to think about wants and needs is to think about food. If you did not eat any food for a long time, you'd get very sick and eventually die. But now think about new furniture. You will survive without brand new furniture in your home. Once you can decide what you want and what you need to live your life, you can save a lot of money by not spending it on things you can live without. Creating savings. Even though it can be hard, everyone can save a small amount of their money. The trick is to figure out how to reduce your expenses or increase your income. We will be talking about how to do this in the next section, which is an overview of how to create savings. You can build your savings by putting aside small amounts on a regular basis, increasing it over time into larger and larger amount. Native people understood this concept. We know the value of an acorn. A few acorns might be meaningless, but a 5-gallon basket of acorns can make enough flour to last for weeks. Savings grow by managing how much you can consume and put aside the small amount that's left over. Savings create opportunities to improve your family's quality of life. Let's begin developing your roadmap to financial freedom. Saving goals. Saving goals are statements about things you wish you could afford. Short term goals identify some things you can save enough money for in a few weeks or months. Long term goals identify some things you can save enough money for in a few years. What are some things you would like to afford? Maybe a new electric scooter for your son. Those cost about 200 and probably could be saved for in a short term. So to think about it, if you save 25 a paycheck, $25 a paycheck, how long would it take you to save for a new scooter? Breaking your saving goals into smaller pieces will help you to know how to reach those goals and will give you solid steps to get there. We need to understand these goals to know what we need to focus on savings. This will help us to put together a spending plan that aligns with these goals. Sometimes it takes putting something down on paper or in our minds to be able to think about the steps needed to meet these goals. Developing a spending plan, the TAT system. That's track, assess, take action, and save. How can you reach your savings goal? by using a spending plan. A spending plan is a strategy for saving and spending money. A spending plan tracks how much money comes into your household and shows how it needs to be used to meet your expenses and saving goals. Developing a spending plan is a 4-step process that may take time to create so that it meets your family needs and goals. To develop a spending plan, you will be using the TAT system: tracking, assessing, taking action, and saving. The first step is to track your income and expenses. This includes looking at the money that comes into the household and the money that goes out. Tracking makes you aware of the flow of the money in and out of your household. It will help you to answer the question, where does my money go? What should we include for income? Wages. How much money do we make and bring home? Do we get money from any other sources? Child support, side jobs, tax refund, etc. Where can we track this information? Online banking, a calendar, mobile app, financial journal, Excel spreadsheet, other software. Okay, so now we know how much money or income is coming into your household. Now let's find out how much money goes out or what the expenses are. When you add up all of the spending for the month, what are their total monthly expenses? Expenses. Things to consider: housing, your rent, your mortgage, utilities, repairs, transportation, auto loan, insurance, gas and repairs, food, groceries, money spent eating out, debt, credit cards, student loans, your phone, entertainment, streaming services, Netflix, HBO, uh, the money you spend on movies, your health, if you got gym membership, miscellaneous, clothing, storage, birthday gifts, if you have pets, all part of your expenses. Seeing where all that money is going allows us to look at areas we can possibly save. Money set aside as savings is a very important part of your spending plan. Money that is saved can be put towards your savings goals. There are a lot of ways to save your money. For example, savings account, having direct deposits into a saving account, or investing into a retirement account. So now that we have looked at what's coming in and what's going out, that's your monthly income minus your monthly expenses, your monthly savings, that equals your cash flow. Okay, so we did the work of tracking income, expenses, and savings. How can we look at expenses and see where we can reduce? Let's learn about fixed versus flexible expenses. We will also learn about luxury expenses, or how to decide if you are spending money on a want versus a need. Fixed expenses usually don't change from month to month. Those are things like your rent, your car payments, loan payments, insurance premiums. Those are examples of fixed expenses. Flexible expenses can go up and down and are more importantly, you can choose how much you want to spend on these each month. Examples are groceries, utilities, gas for your car. That is an example of flex expenses. Luxury expenses include things like eating in a fancy restaurant, buying expensive clothes, or purchasing a new high-end smartphone when your old one still works fine. These expenses are wants, not needs. It might be a good place to reduce your spending. Now think of your expenses, which are fixed, which are flexible, and which are luxury. Do you think you could reduce your spending each month? Here's a quick tip to help manage your spending by setting limits on what percentage of monthly income you will earmark for fixed expenses, flexible expenses, and savings. Luxury expenses can be either fixed expenses or flexible expenses. Also, savings can include emergency funds, retirement accounts, and any other type of rainy day funds. If possible, try to follow the 50-30 rule. 50-30 rule: 50% fixed expenses, 30% flexible expenses, 20% savings. Taking action is the third step in the spending plan process. You have already learned how to identify areas where you could reduce your spending. You could reduce your spending on luxury items and on some flexible expenses like groceries or entertainment. If you follow a new spending plan or budget, you will be able to reduce how much you spend each month. Using what we learned, this is when you should work on making a spending plan. Where can you save? Where can you get more income? Step 4, save. Money set aside as savings is a very important part of your spending plan. Money that is saved can be put towards your saving goals. There are a lot of different ways to save your money: by opening a savings account, having direct deposit into your savings account from your paycheck, or investing in a retirement account. Get organized. One key to successful spending plan is to develop a strong organization and record keeping habits. These are skills that many people who struggle with money unfortunately have not mastered. Whether it's hanging on to receipts, account statements, legal papers, and other important documents, or keeping notes from important phone conversations with people like bill collectors and salespeople, maintaining a financial record keeping system is critical. For some people, an old school filing cabinet with folders and paper might work best. For others, an electronic filing system with scanned images or pictures of documents might work better. Whichever system best suits your needs, you owe it to yourself to get organized.